Happy festive period, Natterboxers. As we move into this period of goodwill to all men and such, we also enter the Christmas party season. Today, I'm going to take you through how to temporarily divert your calls, or perhaps send calls to voicemail for the period that you're out enjoying yourself. The good news is that this can be set up days or even weeks in advance, and so now you have no excuse to leave it to the last minute. We will be covering two scenarios. The first is diverting a simple policy with no prior rules. The second is diverting a slightly more complex policy that already has some routing rules in place. Let's start simple. You will see that this call policy connects straight to Bob. If he doesn't answer, it will go to his voicemail. Bob is going out for Christmas lunch between 3 and 6 p.m. on the 11th of December. We need to add in a rule that specifies this. To start, click the rule feature. You will notice the components list update below. Next, click and hold on the time component and drag it onto your canvas. Within this pop-up, you should specify your criteria. In this instance, we will set the date to 11th of December and the time between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. We also need to select Monday to ensure the rule matches correctly. If you are in a different time zone, then you can specify this here. However, Bob is in the UK, so I will leave it as Europe, London. The last thing is to name your component. This just makes it easier to follow within the whole policy. Now the rule has been set up, we need to add it into the routing policy. Click on the dial string to break the link. Drag the component into place. Hover your mouse over the red circle and then click and hold. Drag your dial string up to the beginning of the rule. The rule has two red connector circles. The default option is if the rule fails to match. The other is if the rule does indeed match. Click and hold on the default red connector and drag it back to Bob. This will continue the call routing as before these changes. You now have a couple of different options for what to do during the Christmas lunch period. You can either say a message to the caller advising you're temporarily out of the office before connecting to voicemail. You can do this by using an action speech component. Or, you may choose to divert calls to another number by using a connect number component. Once you have made your changes, hit save at the bottom of the screen. You will be asked to make some comments about the changes you've made. Please enter a short sentence about what you have changed. This gets logged to your account's event logs for auditing purposes. You have now set up a simple divert policy that will kick into action automatically at 3 p.m. on the 11th of December. The same method can be used for our slightly more complex inbound policy. The only thing we need to consider here is the logic of the rules components. As before, click on the rule feature, then click and hold on the time component. Drag this over to the block of rules and hover over it. You will see it flash green. Let go of the mouse button and the rule will add itself to the bottom of the list. Complete the details as we did previously, ensuring that the time is entered in 24-hour format. Please also don't forget to select day of the week. Once you save this component, you will notice the rule is below the open hour rules. This logic is obviously incorrect, as it needs to match your exception rule prior to checking the opening hours. We therefore need to drag your new Xmas lunch rule above both AM and PM open hours rules. Also note that I am keeping the new rule below the existing block coolers rule. This will result in blocked coolers still being blocked. Logic is key here. You can now continue to either divert the call to another number or add a message to the caller as before. Don't forget to save. There you go. Proactive Christmas diverts in less than 5 minutes. Happy Christmas from all at Natterbox.